Do you want to prevent your little one from having a peanut allergy?
Yeah, I'm talking about you.
What's happening, Panda Nation? Peter Von Panda here. Little guy here has scratched himself a little bit, but you're still in good spirits. But one of the things that I wanted to do was make sure that he stayed in good spirits, and I really wanted him to avoid getting a peanut or nut allergy. When I'm talking, apparently he just wants to watch me sit at the camera. But that is not a guarantee in any way, and from what I had read before, it's often attributed to a lack of exposure to peanuts and nuts. And so actually, when this guy was in the womb, my wife ate some peanut butter and jelly. We thought maybe that would get some exposure to peanuts and help make sure that he's not allergic. But the last time we were at the pediatrician's office, I asked about it as well, and she gave us some advice. First of all, I'm not a doctor or a medical professional, so if you are doing anything regarding allergies or nuts or peanuts with your baby, I would suggest that you seek out the advice and guidance from your own doctor or pediatrician on this. But she asked us if either of us had a peanut allergy, which we do not, so that's good, because if you do have one as a parent, you could pass that down. Apparently, it is genetic to have some of these allergies. So we don't have that, so we're in a good starting point. The other thing that she suggested was potentially giving him some peanuts in the form of Bambas. I think that's how you pronounce it, which are basically Cheetos, but instead of like a cheese dust, they have like a peanut dust on them. And so they have a peanut flavor. They're actually pretty good if you want to have just a peanut flavored snack. But because they're light and they're kind of soft, it's actually pretty easy for babies to chew them, and that gives them some exposure to peanuts. So we bought some of these Bambas. You can actually get them in these little value packs. So if you open up a little grab bag of them, you're not going to waste a lot, because your baby will probably only want to eat one at a time. Having them try peanuts for the first time too is a little funny, so I do have some footage of that. So the first thing I will say is that, again, they look like little Cheetos, and depending on how big your baby is, their hand might cover up the base of it. So they can't actually eat the whole thing, about half of it, until they get down to the part that they're holding in their hand, and they can't figure out how to manipulate it or hold it with their fingers and put the remaining piece in their mouth. The other thing that I noticed is that when you give it to them, at least my baby stuck out his tongue and tasted it first, because he wasn't sure if he wanted to eat it. And it takes a while, so it can definitely take a few minutes for them to go ahead and have the courage to go ahead and try one of these little Bambas. But once they do, he kind of went through it. Now, I will say that he has teeth, only 2 teeth on the bottom, so that probably helps biting into some of these. They're a little crunchy like a Cheeto, maybe a little softer than a Cheeto, but they probably are going to benefit from having some teeth to bite into them. But once he got going on it, he seemed to really like it. In fact, he had 2 in that one sitting, and every day we have given him 1 for the past few days here, just to get him onto the peanut itself. And, so far he seems to be having no adverse reactions to it, and I am hoping that this will prevent him from having a peanut allergy, because that can be really restrictive. Everything that gets made with peanut oil or has been exposed to peanuts. I know that some of my friends have to sterilize their house of peanuts, and nuts before some of their friends come over, because their allergies are so bad. Many sporting arenas don't allow peanuts anymore, and on airplanes they haven't been around for a long time. So a lot of people are aware of those and trying to cater to the people that have those allergies. But if you can avoid having those allergies, I think it's going to be a big benefit for the rest of your life. So if you want to try to get your kid to avoid having a peanut allergy, you might want to try Bambas. That's what we're doing. I'll put a link to them in the description below. Peter Von Panda, out.
We can discover more and explore so much deeper.